talk about the atmosphere, and you're walking in. It's a big part of the game. You guys got the lead, but you want to keep it going, and you go out there and pitch really well for 3 innings. What was working well for you tonight?
Well, as a team, you got to come out right away and send a message, and you keep putting it on after that. You can't just let them find their way back into the game. It was a close game to start, but offense keeps swinging it, and as a pitcher, you got to get them back in that dugout to get them swinging again. So.
How fun is it to be in a game like that, where you build up you get a big lead, it's a packed house, there's so much excitement. How's it fun to pitch in a game like that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely fun like that because me personally, I try to stay as loose as I can all the time. But for other guys, you start to see them play a little looser, and they start to actually realize like, oh, this is fun, man. It's not so serious after all. So it's good. You can play looser and you just enjoy the game.
What's the biggest thing you learned watching Dom pitch in front of you that kind of helped you with your outing?
Oh yeah, I mean, Dom is, even last year, it's the true definition of more than just 2 pitches. He throws 3 pitches in the zone at all times, and he makes the hitters have to respect all 3 of those pitches. And when you could do that, hitting becomes much, much, much harder than it already is. So
I know last year didn't go the way you wanted with the injury and everything, but how are you feeling now? You got to be feeling pretty good after a night like this.
Oh yeah, feel very good. Especially like a night like this. I'm convinced that I could have had a hurt arm still, and just between the crowd and the situation at hand, you still want to go out there and you feel like $1 million. So I feel good, and it's good to be out there again.
Speaking of the crowd, this is the second largest single game crowd at Johnny Leano Park history. Did you feel it out there today?
Oh yeah. No, I try not to look around in the fans. It's like something I've always kind of done because I get distracted pretty easily. So I'll start looking at, oh, there's that guy or there's this person, but you could definitely hear them, especially when you start doing good things. They get involved real good, so that was nice.
You look at this offense. You guys have put up 37 runs over the last 3 games. I mean, what's it like when you're a pitcher having this offense put up, double-digit runs for such a stretch? I mean, it's got to be exciting for you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, you could just go out there and you don't feel like you're, oh my God, if I make one pitch bad, the game's going to be over. It could be that you can afford to make mistakes, and it's okay. You just bounce back and you keep playing.
You guys lost 3 in a row. I mean, I know it's baseball, but lost to Bryant, FAU in the first game at USF. Wally said he kind of lit a fire under the guys maybe after that Friday game. Like, what was his message to you like, and how do you think you guys responded?
Yeah, I mean, we need guys to step up and want to have the big at bat and not get too big in the moment when it does come. You just got to stay with yourself, and you got to do it because it's not the easiest thing in the world to go up there and to do these jobs, but if you just trust in your training and what we practice every day, like that's the standard here. So anything worse than that, that's not acceptable. So it was good that Coach Wallace got us going, and now we can start going and getting on a win streak now opposed to the losing streak.
Is he pretty fiery in that speech, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Can you repeat what he said? Maybe you can.
I'd have to censor some things out, but it's good. You need that a lot of the times, and you see today, like, people are very sensitive in sports, and it's not like he's singling guys out or whatever, but you need, especially men at this age, we're still kind of boys, like, it's very easy for us to, like I said, look into the stands and get distracted from things, so it's good for a coach to really get the guys back on track.
What's the biggest difference between the UCF baseball pre-Friday night versus post-Friday night?
It's just a lot of unselfishness, and I feel like everyone's finally like, okay, like, I can't just wait for the guy next to me I can't expect him to do everything. I could step up here and pass it on to the next guy, and then he's going to do his job, and pass it on to the next guy, and he's going to do his job. No different in the bullpen than the lineup, and everyone's just got a little job to do, and you don't have to make it bigger than what it is, and just get it to the next guy.
What do you think about some of these momentum plays tonight? I know there was, Cruson to Jimenez to Dillon to get the runner out at home and kind of next inning score a bunch of runs. Just kind of what's your vantage point on those plays, and did that really build momentum in this game?
Oh yeah, those are big plays because, like I said, you give up a run there, it could be, I forget what the score was, but it was either a 1-run or a tie ball game now. So, just for that, the mentality of the other team, they just feel like, oh, okay, we got a chance, opposed to you make the most beautiful cutoff, you throw them out at home, like nothing happened. We get in the dugout, we put up 5 runs, and they're like, there's nothing we could do to beat these guys. And that plays a big part.
What do you hope Angelo Smith learns from a night like this, and what would you tell him after seeing what?
I thought Angelo looked really good tonight. Besides 2 walks, I think it was, or try to pay attention a lot again.
1 walk, 4 hits, 2 runs.
He was just, it seemed to me like he was kind of falling behind in counts. His stuff is plenty good, and he's one of the better arms on our staff, so I have no doubt that he'll just bounce back next week, and he knows exactly what he needs to do and get ahead in counts and just keep dominating like he's been all year.
Pitch-wise, what's kind of your bread and butter? What was working really well for you tonight that you really liked what you were doing?
Tonight we were mixing it around. The slider, I felt like I would have liked to throw a couple more strikes with it, but it was getting swings and misses, which was nice. But the bread and butter at the end of the day is the cutter. It's a weird pitch for hitters. You see a lot of people throwing it nowadays, and that's something that just comes naturally because my fastball already cuts a little bit. So that's been real good for me these past couple of years.
You take down the number 6 team in the country by double digits. How do you kind of move on from that as you go and face Monmouth?
Yeah, I mean, like we were just saying before, baseball is baseball. So this just because you win today, nothing's guaranteed after that. So you got to come in the next game and honestly kind of forget. It's a nice win, but you enjoy it tonight, and tomorrow you wake up, we got practice, and we're worried about Monmouth this weekend. So.
What is it exactly about Florida? Because you remember you were there when you guys beat Florida last year, and now you do it again. Just what is it about Florida to kind of get you guys going and puts everyone else on notice?
I mean, yeah, they're a big conference opponent. They're a ranked opponent. These are all guys. I'm sure myself, I'm a Jersey Shore guy, so not as much. But I'm sure there's a lot of guys maybe with the sour taste in their mouth that they didn't make it to Florida or they got decommitted, whatever the case was. So. I'm sure there's a lot of guys, and they know those guys, so there's a lot of interpersonal reasons why, I'm sure. But me, I know these guys are trying to come in here and they think that maybe they can just walk in here and get a win and they're going to beat us up. And I always try to tell myself that's what the other team's thinking, so it kind of gets me going that way and just beat them up, and we come out of here with a dub.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Congrats,
Thank
Alex.
you guys. Have a good